An officer arrests a man named Anton Chigurh and finds a strange cylinder with a tube attached. The officer takes him to the station, but while on a call, Anton sneaks up from behind. He attacks the officer and strangles him without mercy until the man dies on the floor. Anton calmly removes his handcuffs, cleans his hands, and drives away in the police car. He uses the police car to stop another vehicle and tells the driver to step out immediately. The confused man obeys because it's a police car, and Anton places the cylinder on his forehead. Before the man understands, Anton shoots him dead with his homemade cylinder gun. Anton takes the man's car and leaves the scene without any hesitation or looking back. On the other side, we see Llewellyn Moss, a retired soldier hunting in the Texas desert. Moss takes a shot but misses, and his prey escapes into the wilderness quickly. He goes deeper into the desert searching for new prey and spots many parked cars. Through his binoculars, he sees dead bodies scattered around the vehicles in horror. Unable to control his curiosity, Moss approaches the scene to investigate the massacre. It looks like a violent gang war took place here, with weapons and dead bodies everywhere. Moss opens a car door and finds a wounded man barely clinging to life inside the vehicle. The wounded man begs for water, but Moss has none and takes his gun instead. When Moss checks the back of the vehicle, he discovers a massive stash of drugs hidden there. He realizes that if there's drugs here, there must be money hidden somewhere nearby too. Moss spots a tree with a dead man lying underneath it in the scorching desert heat. He sits down and waits to see if the man moves, but after a long time, nothing happens. Moss decides to approach the body and discovers the man is already dead and cold. He quickly takes the dead man's pistol and keeps it for his own protection now. Then his eyes fall on a briefcase lying nearby and he opens it with trembling hands. Inside, he finds stacks of cash, and greed immediately takes over his mind completely. Without thinking twice, Moss takes the money home, not knowing this will destroy his life. He hides his gun outside the house and goes inside where his wife Carla is watching TV. Carla notices the briefcase and asks what's inside, and Moss honestly tells her it's money. Carla starts asking many questions, but Moss refuses to answer any of them right now. At night, both are in bed, but Moss can't sleep because he keeps thinking about the wounded man. He gets up and starts filling water, and Carla wakes up asking where he's going so late. Moss says he's going to do something foolish, but he has to do it anyway for his conscience. He drives back to the desert to give water to the wounded man he left behind earlier. Moss parks his car a little away and walks toward the vehicle with water in his hands. When he opens the car door, he finds the man has already died from his injuries. As he turns back, Moss sees another car near his and some men checking his vehicle. Moss realizes he's in serious trouble and the car starts moving toward him rapidly. He runs for his life, and the men spot him and begin chasing him immediately with guns. Moss runs as fast as he can, but one man shoots him in the shoulder from behind. He falls down, but manages to reach the river before the men can catch up to him. Moss jumps into the river and starts floating away, so the men send a dog after him. Moss exits the river and the dog chases him faster, but Moss pulls out his gun in time. As the dog lunges at him, Moss shoots it dead and saves his own life just barely. Meanwhile, Anton stops at a gas station to fill up his car with petrol for the journey. While paying, the owner casually asks where he's from because he doesn't look local at all. The owner is just making conversation, but he doesn't know he picked the wrong man. Anton gets angry and starts threatening the owner with his cold, menacing tone of voice. Scared, the owner says he's closing the shop and asks Anton to leave right now. Anton pulls out a coin and flips it, asking the owner to call heads or tails quickly. The owner says he didn't bet anything, but Anton replies that his life is the bet here. The terrified owner says heads, and the coin lands on heads, saving his life miraculously. Anton leaves without killing him, and we see Moss returning home wounded and exhausted. He bandages his wounds while Carla watches with worry and fear in her eyes. Moss tells Carla to pack her things and go to her mother's house immediately tonight. When Carla asks why, Moss explains they have $2 million of dangerous people's money. Those men saw his license plate and will come to their house very soon to kill them. Carla agrees to leave, and Moss puts her on a bus to her mother's house for safety. Meanwhile, the drug cartel hires Anton to find their missing money at any cost. They reach the crime scene, and Anton removes Moss's license plate from his abandoned truck. The cartel gives Anton a tracking device to locate the stolen money quickly. As soon as he gets the device, Anton kills both cartel men without any reason or warning. This proves Anton is no ordinary man, but a psycho with a completely twisted mind. After this, we see Sheriff Tom Bell investigating the series of brutal murders in town. Tom finds the car of the man Anton killed and realizes the pattern of his crimes. He figures out Anton first killed at the station, stole a police car, then another vehicle. Tom and his partner reach the gang war scene and find Moss's truck parked there. His partner asks if Moss is a drug dealer, but Tom says he doesn't think so at all. Seeing the dead bodies and destruction, both men are deeply shaken and disturbed inside. After checking the scene, Tom finds the drugs and tries to understand what happened here. He says a drug deal was happening and something went wrong between the two rival gangs. His partner says if there was a deal, there should be money, but Tom is confused too. Meanwhile, Anton reaches Moss's empty house and finds a telephone bill on the floor. He sees repeated calls to one number, which belongs to Carla's mother in another town. Anton checks the house, finds nothing, drinks milk from the fridge, and leaves quietly. He then goes to Moss's landlady and asks where Moss works these days. The landlady refuses to tell him due to privacy policy, which makes Anton very furious. He asks again with threatening intensity, but the landlady still refuses to give information. Anton decides to kill her, but hears a man's voice outside and leaves silently instead. The landlady survives by pure luck, while Moss sends Carla away on the bus safely. Carla says her mom will scold her, and Moss tells her to just endure it for now. Carla says she's used to it since she hears scolding at work every single day anyway. Moss tells her she won't need to work anymore once he returns with all the money. Meanwhile, Tom and his partner reach Moss's house but find no one there at all. Tom notices the milk carton with moisture on it, meaning Anton was just there recently. His partner suggests radioing the station, but Tom says they don't know what Anton looks like. Tom wonders if Moss knows how dangerous this man is, and believes he must know since he ran. Meanwhile, Moss checks into a cheap hotel to avoid drawing any attention to himself. He needs to hide the money safely and notices the air vent in the hotel room. Moss unscrews the vent, ties the briefcase with rope, and pushes it deep inside the duct. He then goes out to buy clothes, but when he returns, he sees a suspicious car outside. Moss gets suspicious and immediately moves to another hotel for his own safety. Meanwhile, Anton calls the number from the bill, but Carla's mother refuses to talk. Anton finds the address on the bill and starts heading toward Carla's mother's house. Meanwhile, Tom's partner brings the autopsy report of the gas station victim today. He says the man died from a gunshot, but the bullet wasn't found in his head at all. Tom wonders if the killer shot him first and then removed the bullet with a knife. His partner confirms this theory, and Tom is deeply disturbed by such inhuman brutality. In the morning, Moss buys a new gun and some metal rods from a local gun shop. He returns to the hotel and books the room next door as well for easy access. Moss joins the rods together to reach the briefcase through the connecting vent system. Meanwhile, Anton passes by the hotel and his tracking device starts beeping loudly. He realizes the money is in one of the rooms and drives past each one to locate it. Anton enters the room without thinking, but finds it empty with no money inside anywhere. After checking everywhere, he thinks the money might be in the room right next door. He takes out his gun and cylinder, then breaks into the adjacent room violently. Inside, he finds cartel men waiting and kills them all with terrifying speed and skill. One man begs for his life on his knees, but Anton kills him without any mercy at all. Moss hears the gunshots from the other side and realizes Anton has found his location. Anton removes his shoes and searches the room, his eyes falling on the air vent. When he opens the vent, he finds scratches, but the briefcase is already gone from there. Moss had already taken the money and escaped before Anton arrived at the hotel. After this, we see the drug cartel boss calling a hired killer named Carson Wells. The boss says his deal went bad, drugs were seized, and someone ran with the money. He orders Carson to find the money and bring it back to him at any cost necessary. Then the boss asks about Anton, and Carson describes him as a poisonous, deadly snake. Carson says whoever Anton bites doesn't survive. He's that deadly and completely unpredictable. The boss reveals Anton killed 3 of his men at the hotel and 2 more before that. Carson assures the boss not to worry because he will handle Anton himself easily. Actually, the boss arranged the deal, but both gangs fought and killed each other instead. The deal failed, so the boss hired Anton to find the money, not knowing he's insane. Anton started killing the boss's own men, so the boss hired Carson to stop him permanently. Meanwhile, Moss checks into another hotel and pays the staff extra for protection and silence. He tells them to call him if anyone comes asking about him or looking for him there. At night, Moss suddenly wakes up feeling that something is terribly wrong in the room. When he checks the briefcase carefully, he discovers a hidden tracking chip inside it. The chip's light is blinking, which means whoever is hunting him is very close now. Moss tries to call the hotel staff, but no one answers the phone at the front desk. He realizes he's completely trapped and prepares his gun for a deadly fight. Moss sits by the door in the dark, waiting silently for whoever is coming to kill him. Then Anton arrives outside the door, and Moss reloads his gun with shaking hands. Anton hears the sound and knows Moss is inside, so he prepares to break in forcefully. Moss is terrified as the door lock breaks and he fires shots through the wooden door. He jumps out the window with the briefcase and starts running for his life immediately. As Moss runs, Anton shoots at him from the window, but Moss hides behind a concrete wall. Moss discovers he's been shot and doesn't know what to do next in this situation. A car arrives and Moss runs to get in, but Anton shoots the driver dead instantly. Anton starts shooting at the car while Moss ducks down and drives forward desperately. The car crashes after a short distance and Moss quickly gets out to hide somewhere. Anton arrives at the crash site and checks for Moss, but he's already hidden safely. Moss shoots at Anton, who quickly takes cover behind the crashed vehicle for protection. Moss moves forward shooting and finds Anton gone with blood on the ground below. This means Anton is wounded too, and Moss heads toward the US-Mexico border quickly. On the way, he meets some boys and buys a coat to disguise himself from pursuers. A little ahead, Moss sees tall grass and throws the briefcase deep into it for hiding. He then acts like a drug addict and successfully crosses the border into Mexico safely. In the morning, some men find Moss and he pays them to take him to a hospital urgently. Meanwhile, Anton watches a pharmacy from his car and plans his next move carefully. He gets out, puts cloth in a car's fuel tank, and sets it on fire to create chaos. As Anton enters the pharmacy, a massive explosion creates panic everywhere around him. In the confusion, Anton steals medical supplies and treats his own gunshot wound. He cleans the wound, injects himself, and removes the bullet with no expression on his face. Anton shows no pain or emotion, behaving more like a robot than a human being. Meanwhile, Moss wakes up in the hospital to find Carson Wells sitting beside his bed. Carson says, "Don't worry, I'm not the one who's been chasing you all this time." Moss says, "I know, I've seen him," and Carson is shocked he survived Anton's attack. Moss asks who Anton is, and Carson explains he's a psycho who kills everyone mercilessly. Carson asks about the money, and Moss claims he lost it somewhere along the way here. Carson says, "If you give me the money, I can help you escape from Anton permanently." He warns that Anton will go to Carla's mother's house to find her next and kill her. If Moss gives him the money, Carson promises to give him some cash to start over. Moss asks why not deal with Anton directly, and Carson says that's completely impossible. Carson explains Anton is crazy and doesn't work for money like normal hired killers. He lives by his own twisted principles and will kill Moss even if he returns everything. Before leaving, Carson gives his number to Moss in case he changes his mind later. Meanwhile, Tom meets Carla and asks if she knows where Moss is hiding right now. Carla says she doesn't know, and Tom asks if she would tell even if she knew the truth. Carla says probably not because the police only harass her husband without helping him. Tom warns that Moss is trapped with very dangerous people who will definitely kill him. Carla says Moss is strong and won't give up without a fight against these criminals. Tom tells her a story about Charlie who killed animals and eventually died himself tragically. He means no one knows what will happen in this fight, and anything can occur suddenly. Meanwhile, Carson finds the briefcase with the money hidden in the tall grass field. He returns home, but Anton is already waiting inside his house like a ghost. Anton holds Carson at gunpoint, who offers to bring the money in exchange for his life. But Anton doesn't care about money and shoots Carson dead without any hesitation. Carson's phone rings, and Anton answers to find Moss on the other end of the line. Moss asks where Carson is, and Anton coldly says he's already dead and gone. Moss realizes this is the same man who has been hunting him all along relentlessly. Anton invites Moss to meet him, but Moss refuses to walk into an obvious death trap. Anton threatens to kill Carla if Moss doesn't return the money immediately without delay. Moss panics and agrees to bring the money back to save his wife's life from Anton. He crosses the border, retrieves the briefcase from the grass, and calls Carla urgently. Moss tells Carla to meet him at a hotel and says he'll give her all the money there. He tells her to take the money and leave while he deals with Anton once and for all. Carla refuses to leave him, but Moss says there's no other choice left for them now. Meanwhile, Anton kills the cartel boss too because he sent Carson to eliminate him. The boss's accountant asks if he'll be killed, and Anton says, "Leave if you stay quiet forever." Meanwhile, Carla and her mother head toward Moss, followed secretly by cartel men. Carla stops the car and calls Tom, telling him Moss's location to save his life. Meanwhile, a cartel man tricks Carla's mother and learns Moss's exact location quickly. Anton's car runs out of gas, so he stops another car and asks for the nearest airport. He suspects Moss is planning to escape, so he kills the driver and takes his car. Meanwhile, Moss waits for Carla outside the hotel near the swimming pool area. A woman approaches him and asks if he wants romance, but Moss refuses her politely. He won't cheat on his wife even in this dangerous and desperate situation he's in. Tom arrives at Moss's location and sees cartel men fleeing in their cars rapidly. When Tom enters the hotel, he finds Moss's dead body lying on the floor cold. Anton had killed Moss before Tom arrived, and cartel men took the money from the room. Police arrives and seals the area while Carla reaches and breaks down completely crying. Tom is devastated that he couldn't save Moss, but then he gets a strange feeling inside. He suspects Anton might still be inside and goes back to check the room carefully. But the room is completely empty, and Anton has already vanished from the scene entirely. The next day, Tom visits his uncle Ellis and says he's quitting his job as sheriff. Ellis asks why, and Tom says criminals have become too dangerous and brutal for him. Ellis tells him criminals have always existed and shares a story from his own childhood. Meanwhile, Carla buries her mother, who also died, and returns home heartbroken and alone. She finds Anton sitting inside and knows immediately that he killed her husband, Moss. Carla says she has no money and asks why he's doing this when there's no benefit for him. Anton says he told Moss to give the money back, but he didn't listen to the warning at all. Carla begs for her life, but Anton says everyone always says the same thing to him. He flips his coin and asks Carla to call it, but she refuses to play his sick game. Carla says the coin can't decide her fate, and Anton agrees before killing her mercilessly. Anton leaves the house and checks his shoe for blood, confirming Carla is dead inside. As he drives away, children distract him and he crashes his car badly on the road. He survives with a broken arm, takes a shirt from the kids, and escapes alive once more.